Disney Pixar, The Good Dinosaur.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
A long time ago, there lived two dinosaurs called Henry and Ida. They lived on a farm with their three children, Buck, Libby, and Arlo. Arlo was the youngest and afraid of everything. Most of all, Arlo was afraid of the wilderness beyond the family's farm. One night, Henry took Arlo into the field. Suddenly, an insect landed on Arlo's nose. Arlo was scared, but Papa blew gently on the insect and it glowed. Then Papa swept his tail through the grass and hundreds of fireflies flew into the sky. Arlo was amazed. The next day, Papa discovered a critter eating their food. "You're going to catch that critter," he told Arlo. Arlo was afraid, but he wanted to make his papa proud. As Arlo guarded the silo, he heard something get caught in Papa's trap. That's when he got his first look at the critter. It was a human boy. Arlo didn't want to harm him, so he let him go. Henry wasn't pleased when he saw the empty trap. He decided to teach his son a lesson by taking him into the wilderness to find the critter. But while they were gone, a terrifying storm caused the river to overflow, and poor Papa was swept away in a flood. Horrified, Arlo watched his Papa disappear. With Papa gone, the family had to work very hard to keep the farm going. Arlo was determined to help take care of his family. One day, Arlo caught the critter stealing corn again. As he and the critter fought, they tumbled backwards into the river. "Mama!" Arlo cried, but he had been swept too far away for anyone to hear. The river carried Arlo away, then bam! The little dinosaur hit his head on a rock and he was pulled under by the current. When Arlo awoke, he had no idea where he was. He was alone and the wilderness was all around him. Suddenly, Arlo heard a howl. Standing on the cliff top above him was the critter. "You!" shouted Arlo angrily. "This is all your fault!" Furious, he tried to climb off the cliff to get at the little boy, but the critter wasn't afraid. The critter scampered off, leaving the dinosaur all alone. Arlo was scared, hungry, and tired. Before long, it started to get dark and Arlo felt raindrops on his head. Arlo decided to build a shelter using twigs and branches. Once the shelter was complete, he curled up beneath his leaky roof and tried to sleep. But then he heard something rustling in the bushes outside, heading in his direction. It was the boy. He had brought Arlo a branch of berries, and that's when the dinosaur and the boy became friends. Arlo gave the boy a name, Spot. Spot couldn't talk, but he and Arlo found a way of communicating. Arlo learned that Spot had lost his family, just as the dinosaur had lost his papa. A few days later, Arlo and Spot met a family of T-Rexes called Butch, Ramsey, and Nash. They had lost their herd of longhorns. Arlo offered to help the T-Rexes if they could show him the way home. Butch agreed, and Spot tracked down the longhorns, but a nasty surprise lay in wait. Raptors, this gang of feathery crooks, had stolen the longhorns and weren't going to give them up without a fight. Brave Arlo helped his new friends. "You're one tough kid," Butch told Arlo. As promised, the T-Rexes helped Arlo and Spot find the direction home, and the pair continued on their journey. Spot climbed atop Arlo's head and pointed towards the sky. Above the clouds was the most beautiful sunset they had ever seen. As Arlo and Spot made their way along the mountain pass, a storm was brewing. Suddenly, a pack of pterodactyls swooped down and caught hold of Spot and whisked him up and away. Arlo gave chase and found Spot down by the river. Arlo felt a surge of courage in his heart and charged at the pterodactyls, driving them away. The storm was raging now, and suddenly the river burst its banks. Arlo and Spot were swept away in the flood. The dinosaur could see his friend, but he couldn't reach him. Arlo reached Spot just as they tumbled over a waterfall. The two friends clung to each other as they fell into the river far, far below. Arlo climbed ashore, holding his friend. They were okay. Arlo and Spot set off once again. Suddenly they heard a howl, and a human family appeared. Arlo knew what he had to do. Even though he didn't want to lose Spot, he let him go. The two new friends cried as they said goodbye. Arlo carried on alone, and before long he saw something that made him very happy. The farm. At last, Arlo was home.